If I had to pick one interview, it would be Kanye. When you're given a superpower, you can use it for positive or you can use it for negative.
That's right. I was going to ask you about that. I'm so glad you said that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Johnny Wimbrey. Welcome back to the Masters of Wealth Show. I am super excited about today's interview. This guy, not only have I been following him, as a matter of fact, he's the reason that when I work out in the gym every morning, not that I work out every morning, but when I do work out in the morning, I'm on YouTube just searching, motivational speeches and whatever it is. And I promise you, this guy's information, his channel always comes to the top of the list. Please welcome to the Masters of Wealth Show, my man, Mr. Evan Carmichael. How you doing, brother?
I'm great, man. Thank you for the love. And I'm glad some of those biceps are because of me. It's great.
Some of those biceps, I hope there's only two of them. At least two. Well, man, listen, brother, I tip my hat to you, man. I've been following you, watching you, and being motivated by the information that you have compiled from what I would call industry giants across the globe. And I've been able to share the stage with a lot of people that you've interviewed, the late great, or not interviewed, but you've made, mixes on it. Where I'm from, we call it mixes. But you've been able to put forth collaborations that are absolutely introducing all generations to wealth principles and mindsets. From my mentor, Les Brown. I've worked with Jim Rohn. I've done work with Zig Ziglar when I was, 15, 20 years ago. And I just recently sometime last year, that you did a top 10 with Bishop T.D. Jakes. What and why do you do this?
I want to solve the world's biggest problem, which I think is people don't believe in themselves enough. I think everybody has Michael Jordan level talent at something. Like people listening, watching, you are the greatest in the world at something.
At something.
But you're stuck living a life that is beneath your capabilities that you don't love. What is the thing? I don't know. But it's one, believing in yourself enough that you are a genius at something.
Yeah.
And two, then finding it and then believing yourself to chase it down. So, like cancer is a problem. Awesome. I think the woman who solves cancer is a manager at McDonald's right now because she never believed in herself enough to go chase it down. And so I think it's the world's biggest problem. Like, tell me whatever problem you think plagues the world. I think it's solved by an entrepreneur who just doesn't believe in themselves enough to actually go and follow it through. And so what I'm trying to do is hit people with enough, like it's the daily content. I've got 12 channels or something. We do 6 videos a day. I want you to find my content, not for me, but to spread belief, because if you're listening and you're growing and you're getting something out of it, like the amount of people who learned about Les Brown is my hero. Young Les Brown in my books is the greatest speaker of all time.
He's the best communicator on the planet, brother.
All time.
I agree with you.
But not enough people know him. You say Jim Rohn, like walk down the street, nobody knows who Jim Rohn is.
Right. 100%.
And so I see it as part of my message. Like, you have to know who these people are. I want to expose it and bring it to you. The only thing that you need is an internet connection now, because your parents might not have money. You might have been, hit with a super limited fixed mindset, but here's this content on YouTube for free to learn from the legends and the masters, the people who've had tons of wealth, tons of success, tons of impact. And if you consume it every single day, it's going to start to seep into your head that, listen, maybe I could do something greater than what I'm doing right now too.
Sure. You know what's crazy is I believe you. And it's not
Is that crazy?
It's not crazy that I believe you. It's crazy that your authenticity speaks for itself. And it's almost like you're in this, it's your ministry, if you will. And I absolutely believe that you care to fix the biggest problem in the world. That's what I mean by that. A lot of people out there, they'll compile information from the greatest of the greatest with the hopes of building, something for themselves. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I do that. I believe we all do it. But man, I can really hear in your voice, the sense of concern and the genuine curiosity, just that genuine, curiosity, if you will, of what happens if you continue to drip information to the individuals' lives. How did you get started with this? Like what was, the beginning stage of when you said, you know what, I want to get information into the masses' ears that's going to empower them to greatness?
So I think your purpose comes from your pain. I think whatever you struggled with the most in life, you want to help other people who are currently going through what you went through, right? You look at any entrepreneur who's like gone and crushed it, that's what they're doing. And so I struggled so much as an entrepreneur that I wanted to help other entrepreneurs not feel as much struggle that I went through. I got out of the hole I was in entrepreneurship by modeling success.
Sure.
And so I thought, I'm a visual guy. I'd much rather see something than hear it. Or just read it. And so I started on YouTube 11 years ago, back when it wasn't an educational platform. It was, cats cuffing up hairballs and old man falls downstairs, like 20-second little clips. The top 10 series in terms of modeling others and making it into content, the very first one I did was on Kanye West.
Really?
And he's on my wall back there. Like, I don't know for the video, people, you can see it, and audio, you just believe me. I got a giant canvas of 5 people on my wall in my office, and
I
the
dig
first one
that.
down there is Kanye.
Have you met Kanye?
Not yet. I actually want to do, if I had to pick one interview, it would be Kanye, because I think he's been done a massive disservice in most of his interviews, where people are trying to get like the gotcha moments. They're setting him up for bait almost every time in his interviews. There's a few really quality ones, and Kanye almost always steps into the trap and like goes crazy on something, and that's all people ever hear. But dude's a genius. Like, dude went from just doing beats to then being a producer to being an entrepreneur. He had more Grammys than anybody in history at his age. Like, he's a legit entrepreneur. And why I did it was a buddy of mine wrote a blog post talking about the Kanye T-Swift issue. And it was like 5 years after it or something. It's like, why are we still talking about the one thing that Kanye did that, he put his foot in his mouth? How about you try to learn from him, right? Like, if you want to be the greatest you, how about you learn from people instead of just poking holes? Like, I got Steve Jobs up on my wall. Was he the greatest father of all time? No, I don't want to be a dad like Steve Jobs, but you can be a visionary like him. It's like, why don't you try to learn from guys like Kanye instead of just pointing out the negatives? So the first top 10 I did was for my friend, Mark, who made that blog post, to say, Mark, go watch this video. And it was just top 10 greatest things about Kanye that you can learn from. So like, one of the stories there is, John Legend? Yeah. So John Legend's real name isn't John Legend.
I didn't know that.
His name is John Stevens.
I didn't know that. And
John Stevens and Kanye are friends. Yep. Which already seems weird. Like, John Stevens, Legend, feels like the nicest person alive.
Yeah. On the planet.
And then like, how is he friends with Kanye? How does that make sense? And so at the start of John Stevens' career, they're sitting in a bar in Chicago, and John Stevens says, I feel like I have an old soul. Like, I don't like belong in this era of music. Like, I'm from the Sinatra kind of era.
Sure.
And Kanye says, you should call yourself the Legend. And John Stevens says, I can't do that. Like, what if it doesn't work out? I'm at the start of my career calling myself a legend. And he convinced him to change his name to John. And so even if you hate Kanye, even if you think like he's the scummiest person alive, awesome. Are you a friend to your friend like Kanye was to John Stevens? Like, do you believe in your friends that much and push them to do great things? Right? Like, learn from that.
I like that. I love that about you. You can find something good and positive in anyone who has done something great. And I've been in the same room with Kanye a few times. His first cousin is a really, really good friend of mine. And you got me thinking, like, how do I connect this? How do I make this happen? I connected
Let's do it, brother.
Well, I connected an interview with Kanye and Bishop T.D. Jakes. I've never even told anybody about that a few months back. Well, several months back now. And that meeting actually happened. He's hungry, man. He's in a place right now in his life where he's hungry. He doesn't want any BS. I mean, he wants people to shoot him straight, but he's literally, hungry for that next level in life. And you can see what he's doing right now. He's living a life of service. And I've been in the room with it, and I'm telling you firsthand, his services that he does has nothing to do with him. As a matter of fact, he may touch the microphone maybe for 120 seconds. Other than that, it has nothing to do with him. So I'm gonna see if I can set that up, man. I'm excited about it.
All right, cool. I want to tell the story. TD was another great one where.
How did that happen?
Well, listen. So I
have my theory of how I think it happened.
So by nature of what I do, listen. Every video I do is always a tribute, first and foremost. It's never a gotcha. It's never anything negative. It's only the positive you can learn from this person.
Sure.
Whether it's Kanye or Steve Jobs or anybody, and so. A lot of people have seen the videos that we've done on them because people have shared it and say, hey, look at what this guy from Canada made on you. TD, I've been connected with his team for a bit, and I wanted to show the business, like TD Jakes is a great entrepreneur. Like, you know him as the spiritual guy, but most people don't know that this man is not like, learn, yes, the spiritual God lessons, awesome. But business and service and leadership, like you can learn from this man. And so we've been in contact a whole bunch trying to figure something out, but the timing wasn't right. And then he launched Soar, which is his business book. Right. So he's done a whole bunch of books before and huge bestsellers, but he hasn't written an entrepreneur book. And so his first one came out, I forget how long ago, a couple of years.
It was Soar, about 2 years ago.
Yeah, called Soar. And then finally the team connected. He's like, this is the chance to get on Evan's show. And we did a really awesome live interview that's up on the channel. It's like, yes, I love it. Because I want to tap Kanye's brain, Oprah's brain to show the business side of what they're doing, not just the message that they're known for, because there's a lot that's in there that is never shown. And so I was pumped for TD to do that. And yeah, you can set up the Kanye thing. I'm pumped too, man.
So the two greatest mentors of my life you have talked about already, Les Brown. Les Brown's my greatest mentor as a speaker. I've been all over the world with him right now. As a matter of fact, he's 75. He's going to Dubai as we speak. As we speak. And then you have then you have Bishop T.D. Jakes. Bishop T.D. Jakes is a spiritual father to me, and he's also an entrepreneurial mentor of mine. I'm a part of everything that he offers. I'm in those circles. I've spoken at a few of his leadership conferences, as well as MegaFest that he does. And for you to secure an interview with him on your channel is a huge thing. Not because it's hard to get to him. It is hard to get to him, but it means he trusts you. And it means he honors and he values what you bring to the table. There are a lot of great people who want to interview him who will never get that interview. And it's not because they're not great at what they do. He's going to analyze and look at everything and do the due diligence. And for him to do that, that is a huge mark of greatness or a stamp of approval that your heart is in the right place, man. And that's just, that's just super dope, man. I want to talk about your top 10s. Your top 10s have probably been more influential in my life than anything else on YouTube. And it's really the way that you set it up. It's like you're about to serve us something, and we don't know how it's going to, get there, but we know by the time we get to number 10, it's going to be, it's going to be the icing on the cake, and you're going to get hit and knocked around a little bit, but you'll sew us back up at the end. How did you, and I know you said the first one you did was with Kanye, how do you pick who you're going to do next? And do you contact these individuals, or you just find their information and put it together in a way that works for you?
So it's a mix of what the audience wants. Mm-hmm. So when I first did the Kanye one, it was not supposed to be a series. This is a one-off, like Mark Drager, my friend of like 15 years, you need to learn from Kanye West, period, right? Like that was the only incentive to make that video. And then people watched and they're like, hey, can you do Dame Dash? Hey, can you do Jay-Z? Hey, can you do Jeff Bezos? I was like, I guess I could, right? Like that's a cool idea. And so it's always a mix of what people want to see with, can we get enough of a message for that person? It's evolved to now where we do collaborations with a lot of the people, either them directly or their teams. People give us footage that hasn't been put anywhere else on YouTube. Yeah. Because there's enough of a track record now that people see like, this is going to be a great tribute. Everything is seen through the lens of belief. So sure. It's always positive. It's always optimistic. So like Floyd Mayweather shared the one we did on him to his audience because he wants to be seen like he's a businessman. People right. just see the boxing, but he's a genius entrepreneur as well, right? So he shared it. 50 Cent shared the one we made on him to his audience because again, another genius businessman. And I just love taking people who have a certain stigma to say like, oh, you're only at XYZ, and they put them in this box. It's like, no, you need to learn to tap that brain to help you become better at what you're doing. And so I love learning from Kanye. I love learning from Bishop Jakes. I love learning from all these guys. And it's a combination of, again, what the audience wants with what I want to make. And I've been introduced to a lot of people who I'd never heard of before because my audience is saying, hey, can you go make this person? It's like, I've never heard of them, but I'll dive into it. Let's see what happens.
I was going to ask you about that. I'm so glad you said that. So you are compiling information strategically and delivering it to the world with the hope of creating impact to solve the world's greatest problem. And in your definition is it's the lack of knowledge. It's the lack of, inspiration, and you're bringing that to the world. How do you, I would ask you, who would you never do a top 10 on? But I don't really, if you want to answer that question, you can, but there's a way
No,
you
that's
can
fine.
answer. Okay.
For me, my personal opinion is nobody, because I think you can learn from everybody. If you take like the worst, whoever the worst, people then go to like Hitler immediately, right? Like, listen, if you want to learn how to be a good public speaker, you should go study Hitler. Just do it in a positive way, right? Like when you're given a superpower, you can use it for positive or you can use it for negative.
Right.
Like take what he's done and use it for positive.
I've actually done a lesson on Hitler before. That's crazy you said that. And I was actually in Israel, of all places. And I don't know how I got the confidence to talk about this, but I did. But I talked about it in a way where, like you said, you could be gifted in a certain area, but you have two different definitions of leadership. You can lead with motivation, or you can lead with manipulation. You can use your talent to manipulate people, hurt people, and destroy people, and that has happened time and time again throughout history. And it just means that your gift mastered you instead of you mastering your gift.
Yep.
Well, give me that one person you were just about to say.
Vladimir Putin.
Wow.
And the reason is my editing team was based in the Ukraine and had to leave the country. And Christina, my main editor, messaged me and said, I need to leave the country because the Russian tanks are coming.
Damn.
And so we need to leave. We're not going to be able to make videos for the next day or two. Like, Jesus, like, take care of your family. This is crazy. And she fled the country, went to Montenegro. And we get comments all the time to make Vladimir Putin. And to her credit, my editor says, listen, if you want to make Vladimir Putin, no problem. I understand. And there's stuff you can learn from him. But this man like forced me from my home and like relatives have died and all that. So just please don't ask me to be the one to edit the video to put it up on the channel.
Respect.
And for me, it's like, you know what? I don't care about Putin that much to put, my team down and make them feel awkward and uncomfortable. So that's the only person that we have said no to.
Wow.
There's other reasons, like there's no video footage. Like, why don't you do Jesus Christ? Well, there's no video footage.
If you get that, brother, I'll come over with popcorn myself.
Big viewing party. It's happening.
So you have a new book that's coming out, Build to Serve, launching next month.
Yeah, March 17th, Built to Serve. The idea is that humans are built to serve. If you're not happy, it's because you're not serving. Serving others hits the same part in your brain as having food and having sex, which are also both pretty important.
Yeah.
So they did functional MRIs on people's brains, and it lights up the same part of your brain as food and sex, serving, helping other people. And so then it becomes, well, how do I serve? And who do I serve? And we're afraid to serve because what if we get rejected, or what if people don't like what we're doing? And so there's a lot of people who are living their life with their foot on the gas and the brake at the same time, knowing they're capable of more, but holding themselves back because they don't know how to do it and they're afraid to get going. And so that's the idea with the book, is to try to help people unlock. One, understand you are built to serve. Like, if you're not happy in your life right now, it's because you're not serving. Either the world, like you and I, want to have a big impact, want to change the lives of millions of people. Some people, like my wife, is just the 25 closest people to her. She doesn't have a giant mission, but it's just like super close family, friends. But either way, you're built to serve.
Absolutely.
So understanding that and then leveraging that and then turning the business out of it is what the book is all about.
I love that. One of the things when I'm mentoring, especially younger people who look at me and they want the lifestyle and they don't really understand how I got to where I'm at, made a lot of bad decisions in life. I got a brother serving 40 years in prison. The only difference is I didn't get caught. So I'm not better than him. I'm just the definition of God's grace and mercy and determination of fixing my life and turning my life back into a service and cleaning up the damage and all the, BS that I've created on this planet, even as a teenager. So one of the things that I do my best to teach individuals, especially those who are coming up, is you got to serve. And it's like, Johnny, what do you mean by that? You got to put yourself in environments that get you into certain rooms that money can't get you. I have served Bishop T.D. Jakes. I have held his bags. Holton Buggs, who's one of my mentors, who happens to be my best friend as well. I have carried his bags into events as he's speaking on major stages. I'm carrying his bag, serving him. He's my best friend. He has actually done the exact same thing for me. He has carried my bags into events just to get into those back rooms. I used to serve with holes in my shoes, man. I would go to conferences and seminars and have holes in my shoes. I wouldn't even cross my legs because I didn't want people to see the holes on the bottom of my soles. And to me, that was serving my way into position. So if I say this, and I know you've heard this before, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. What does that mean to you, Evan?
It means if you look at your story and what you've went through and having a brother in jail and you know, committing crimes and just not getting caught, that is something that people can connect to you and your story on where they can't connect to me. Because I don't have any family members in jail. I've never committed a crime, dude. I'm like too scared to to steal anything or like you know,
I've done enough for you, brother. I've done enough for you.
My parents are here at my wall here. There's like a picture of me when I'm 8 or 9, and those are my parents above me. Because they taught me that I'm Evan Castrilli Carmichael. I could do whatever I believe that I can. And so I was, I guess, raised proper, but I could have empathy. If somebody has family in jail, if somebody comes from a really rough part of town or they've committed crimes themselves and they feel like there's no way out, I could have empathy. I could support them. I could believe in them. But my message won't hit as loudly as yours will because you're exactly like them. Like you represent hope to them. You've come out on the other side. And even though your journey is not done, like if you think Johnny's done stuff now, wait 10 years.
Yeah.
Like don't sleep on Johnny. He's just getting started. Right?
I literally feel like that. I feel like I'm
just getting started. This is it. But where you're at is way further. Like if you look at who you were 20 years ago, it's like that guy would say there's no way of what you're doing now. Zero way. So the thing is, there's so many people who currently are who you were 20 years ago. And they represent, a lot of them feel like there's no hope. You're hope to them. It's like, well, if Johnny could do it, then maybe I can too. And just that little, that's all you need, right? Just that little, like, maybe I could do it too. And so they can connect to you in a way that they can't connect to me because I don't have your story.
Yeah.
And so that's the knowing how much you care, right? It's like, I care a lot, but the purpose of you helping people who come from that is just going to tie so much more strongly to you than me, who I care mostly about, you know, helping entrepreneurs get their businesses off the ground.
I love it, man. We got work to do. Man. I love your heart. I love your passion. And, you know, I love inviting people to be on the show, the Master of Wealth show. And, you know, Masters of Wealth, it's not just, you know, money is one ingredient to wealth to me. It's a very small ingredient, to be honest with you. It's kind of like saying chocolate cake. You know, you're talking about sugar, but you don't have to say sugar. So when I say wealth, I'm talking about from the inside out. So when I have people on the show, especially people like you, what I want people to understand more so than anything else, wealth comes from the inside, being happy with who you are, with whose you are, what you represent on your daily basis. And man, I commend you. I congratulate you. I celebrate you. And you know, if there is any message that I can share with you is please don't stop what you're doing and don't let it die with you. Please empower other people to wake up that giant, whatever's inside you that says, I can get information out to the masses through other voices that will empower them. It doesn't have to be my voice. It could be someone else's voice as long as it's going to empower them to become greater. Man, I think the biggest obstacle that you're going to have to overcome before you check out of this place called Earth is duplicating yourself, because it sounds simple to you because it is you. But I'm telling you, brother, what you bring to this planet, it's not normal. And to find people who do it without a motive, you got to duplicate that, man. That's your mission. And that's my personal desire from me to you, that you could duplicate that.
I love it. Listen, I got goosebumps everywhere. I feel the heart, I feel the love. You know, I've done 6,000 videos over 11 years. Jeez. But the next time on Tuesday when I step into my recording studio to film my next videos, I got Johnny in my head.
J-Dub, I'm in his head. Let's go.
Doing his curls to this video, and we got to deliver because he's got to max out on this set. That's what I'm taking to the studio next time.
That's what I'm talking about, man. I'm gonna make a top 10 and sneak it to you, But man, listen, I would be honored to team up with you in any shape, form, or fashion on stage, you know, in the studio, whatever it is. I want to be a part of your mission. I want to complement your mission, and anything that we could do here at Wimbrey Training Systems, please allow us to be a part of that. Even if, you know, it doesn't have to be me. I just want to be a part of your mission to make sure that it continues, man. One more thing, in the personal development arena, people, you know, they see us, and I've shared the stages around the world, and, you know, millions of people have heard my message. What people don't realize more so than anything else is the only thing that separates us from the masses is just the heart to step up and to repeat a message that hopefully is going to empower you and move you into your destiny. What is your pet peeve about this positive industry? That'd be a book. Pet peeve about a positive industry. So we're in personal development. What don't you like about personal development?
Wow, that's such an interesting way how you framed that. I mean, for me, when I see negative, I have compassion, empathy. Like I understand why you're thinking that way, right? You've been taught this way, and so it's not a reflection of like you are doing it wrong. You've just been taught wrong, and we can change that. Maybe it's just like it's the belief, right? Like I can't suck it out of me. I guess the thing that I would say is a pet peeve is the number of talented people who are not sharing their message. Just like what you said to me, I mean, I'm going to own it and do it. And this is not going to die inside me. For so many people, it does. The only thing missing for most people is momentum. You're a genius. You have great ideas. You can change the world. You're built to serve. You know you're capable of more. The only thing you're missing is momentum. And so I want people to believe in themselves more. Biggest pet peeve.
Jeez. Brother, you're just a walking, talking billboard of positive, genuine. You're just absolutely genuine, man. And
you're bringing it out, man. You're bringing it out in me, Johnny.
I think the world knew before this interview, man. But I appreciate you being on the show, brother. I know your time is incredibly valuable. I've got people who are looking at this for the first time. The airplane on your hoodie.
Yeah.
In 10 seconds. Tell me what that is.
Represents entrepreneurship to me. So I love helping entrepreneurs. We're flying. We're getting to a new destination. We're trying to land somewhere new and not just stay stuck where we are. But it's a paper airplane because at the beginning, we don't have the money to have a jet and to fly fancy. We're a paper airplane fighting the elements. But if you watch my videos, there's a sound effect where the paper airplane breaks the sound barrier, has the sonic boom. And that's what I think entrepreneurs do. Like you're the paper airplane. All the odds are against you, but you're going to break the sound barrier.
Man. Let me tell you how I'm feeling right now. I feel lazy. And let me tell you why. I believe that you eat, sleep, and breathe what you just said. And you just challenged me in a way that it's not an if. I'm not doing enough. And I appreciate you.
Let's go, JW. Let's go,
baby.
Stay tuned. Don't sleep on this guy. It's coming.
My man, Evan, brother. You'll be seeing more of you. God bless you, man. Welcome. Thank you for being a part of the Masters of Wealth show. Check this guy out. Follow him. If you're following him, you're following me because I follow him. We'll see you, baby. Paper airplanes out. Let's go.
Much love. Thank you, man.
All right.
If you have a podcast or interview show and want me to be a guest on it, I have two options for you. There's a link right there next to me. Go click it, and I look forward to being a guest on your show.